Have you ever wondered why some people can walk into a room, say almost nothing, and instantly everyone seems to like them, while others, maybe even you, have to work so hard just to get noticed? What if I told you there are hidden psychological hacks, scientifically proven, that can make people feel an instant connection with you, sometimes in under 30 seconds? Sounds unbelievable, right? But stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to have 10 powerful hacks that can literally change the way people see you forever. And here's the best part. Once you know these, it won't feel like effort. It'll just feel natural, like flipping a switch that was always inside you. So let me ask you a dangerous question. What if people aren't liking you as much as you think? What if subtle things you're doing every day are pushing them away? And what if, just by changing tiny behaviors, you could flip that entire dynamic in your favor? That's the secret I'm going to share today. But before I reveal the first hack, let's be real for a moment. Think back to the last time you met someone new. Maybe it was a party, a networking event, or even just a random conversation in line at a coffee shop. Within seconds, your brain made a judgment about that person. Safe, attractive, annoying, likable? That snap judgment, that gut feeling, decided whether you leaned in or tuned out. Now here's the kicker. Everyone else's brain does the exact same thing to you. And this is where most people lose without even knowing it. But you won't anymore. Because I'm about to hand you the exact blueprint that top psychologists, negotiators, and even world leaders use to become magnetic. Hack number 1 is deceptively simple, but it's a game changer. It's all about eye contact. Now wait, I know what you're thinking. Really? Eye contact? That's it? But here's the science. When you look someone directly in the eyes, not like a stare down, but with warmth, you trigger a release of oxytocin, the bonding hormone, in both your brain and theirs. Think about that for a second. Just by holding someone's gaze a little longer than usual, you're literally hacking their biology to feel more trust and connection with you. But here's where it gets wild. Psychologists found something called the sticky gaze effect. If you let your eyes linger just a split second longer than normal before looking away, people perceive you as more confident, more attentive, and more attractive. It's not about staring, it's about being present. Imagine it like this. You're telling their brain without words, I see you. You matter. And let's be honest, how many people actually make us feel truly seen these days? Almost no one. That's why this one small hack works like magic. But here's where you can take it to the next level. If you combine that warm, sticky eye contact with something called the triangle gaze, which is when your eyes move between their left eye, right eye, and mouth, it creates a subtle rhythm that feels natural and deeply engaging. People won't know why, but they'll feel an instant pull toward you. So here's your first challenge. The next time you talk to someone, try this. Don't just glance and look away. Hold their gaze a second longer. Soften your eyes, and watch how quickly the energy shifts. You might be shocked at how much more open, relaxed, and friendly they become, almost like flipping that invisible switch. Now let's talk about hack number 2. This one is sneaky, because it works before you even say a word. It's your body language. But I'm not talking about standing tall or power posing. Everyone's heard that before. I'm talking about the mirror effect. Here's the deal. Humans are wired to like people who are like them. It's called the similarity principle, and the fastest way to trigger it is through subtle mirroring. If they lean forward, you lean forward. If they cross their legs, you cross yours. If they use a lot of hand gestures, you bring your hands into play too. Why does this work? Because deep in the brain we have what's called mirror neurons. They fire when we see someone behaving like us, and it creates a powerful subconscious message. This person is safe. They get me. But here's the trick most people miss. It has to be subtle. If you copy too obviously, it feels fake. But when done with finesse, it's almost invisible. They'll just feel more comfortable around you without knowing why. Think about it. Have you ever had a conversation where everything just flowed effortlessly? You laughed at the same time, leaned in at the same time, even used the same phrases? That's not an accident. That's mirroring happening naturally. The difference is, now you can trigger it deliberately. So here's how you can test this hack in real life. The next time you're with someone, pick one tiny behavior to mirror. Maybe it's how they tilt their head, how they hold their hands, or even the rhythm of their breathing. Try it for just a few minutes and watch how fast rapport builds. You'll notice them opening up more, smiling more, and feeling like they've known you forever. And let me tell you something, when you combine hack 1 and hack 2, Warm eye contact plus mirroring. It's like social superglue. People won't even know why they feel so drawn to you. They'll just know they like you. But we're just getting started. Because hack number 3 is something most people do completely wrong, and it actually destroys their likability without them realizing it. If you've ever wondered why conversations feel awkward or forced, you're going to want to hear this one. So let's get into hack number 3. This one is a silent killer of conversations. You've probably seen it, maybe even done it without realizing. Here it is. Stop waiting to talk and start listening to understand. Sounds simple, right? But here's the psychology. Most people don't really listen. They wait for their turn to speak. They're formulating their response in their head while the other person is still talking, and you can feel it. You can feel when someone's not really present with you. It makes you pull back, doesn't it? But when someone actually listens deeply, fully, it changes everything. Neuroscientists discovered that when you feel genuinely heard, it activates the same pleasure centers in the brain as receiving money or food. Think about that. Making someone feel truly heard is as rewarding to them as getting paid. So how do you do it? Simple, use the golden pause. When someone finishes speaking, resist the urge to jump in right away. Instead, pause for just a second, nod, and then respond by reflecting something they said. Not just repeating, but rephrasing in your own words. For example, if they say, "I've been so stressed at work lately," don't just nod and talk about your own stress. Say, "Wow, sounds like work has been really overwhelming for you. What's been the hardest part?" Do you feel the difference? One makes it about you. The other makes it about them. And when people feel you get them, they can't help but like you. In fact, Dale Carnegie, the author of How to Win Friends and Influence, people once said that being a good listener can make you the most interesting person in the room. Because here's the paradox. People love talking about themselves. And if you give them that gift, they'll walk away thinking you're the amazing one. So here's your challenge for hack 3. In your next conversation, catch yourself. Are you listening to reply or listening to understand? Try the golden pause, reflect their words, and watch the magic unfold. Now, hack number 4. This one is dangerous, because if you do it wrong, it backfires. But if you do it right, people will feel an instant surge of warmth toward you. It's called the authentic compliment, but not the obvious kind. Not the "I like your shirt" or "you're so smart" type. No, those bounce off like ping pong balls because they sound generic. The real power is in giving compliments that are specific and personalized. For example, instead of saying, "You're funny," say, "I love how you always notice the little things other people miss." That's such a rare kind of humor. Do you feel the difference? One feels lazy. The other feels like you really see them. Here's the psychology. People's deepest craving isn't money, fame, or even success. It's recognition. The feeling that someone notices them, not just on the surface, but the deeper, unique parts of who they are. When you give someone that kind of compliment, you're feeding their soul, not just their ego. But here's the warning. Fake compliments are poison. Humans have a radar for inauthenticity. If you don't mean it, don't say it. Because nothing destroys likability faster than empty flattery. So how do you find genuine compliments? Easy. Train yourself to notice. Pay attention to the micro things people do. The way they laugh. The effort they put into something. The energy they bring to the room. Compliment that. And if you really want to supercharge this hack, combine it with hack 3. Listen deeply, notice something unique, and then compliment it. Boom. Instant connection. But now let me take you to hack number 5. And this one might surprise you. It's not about what you say. It's about what you reveal. It's called the Pratfall effect. Psychologists discovered that when someone is competent, skilled, or impressive but makes a small, human mistake, people find them more relatable and more likable. Why? Because it breaks the illusion of perfection. It says, "I'm human just like you." Think about it. Who do you trust more? The person who always seems flawless, or the person who occasionally laughs at themselves, admits when they're wrong and isn't afraid to look silly? Exactly. One of the fastest ways to build connection is to drop the mask for a moment. Share a small embarrassment. Laugh at your own mistake or admit, "Honestly, I used to struggle with this too." It makes people lean in, because suddenly you're not above them, you're beside them. But there's a golden rule. Vulnerability works best when it's paired with competence. If all you do is mess up, people lose respect. But if you show you're capable, then sprinkle in small imperfections. That's when the magic happens. For example, imagine a brilliant speaker giving a powerful talk, but halfway through, they drop their water bottle, laugh and say, "Well, that's one way to keep everyone awake." The audience loves them even more, because it feels real. So here's your takeaway for Hack 5. Don't be afraid to let people see the cracks. Share the human side. Laugh at yourself, and you'll be shocked how much more people warm up to you. Now, let's pause for a second. Think about the 5 hacks you've learned so far. Eye contact, mirroring, deep listening, authentic compliments, and vulnerability. Imagine stacking all of these in one interaction. Imagine walking into a room using warm eye contact, matching their body language, listening deeply, noticing something unique about them, and being real enough to admit a small imperfection. How could someone not like you after that? But we're not done, because the next 5 hacks go even deeper. These are the ones that move beyond just likable into unforgettable, the kind of person people think about long after the conversation is over. The kind of person they feel drawn back to, again and again. And hack number 6. It taps into something so primal, so deeply wired into human psychology, that if you master it, you'll never struggle to make friends, build trust, or even attract love. Hack number 6 is something so primal, and yet, it's one of the most powerful ways to make someone instantly feel good around you. It's using their name. Now hold on, I don't mean throwing their name into every sentence like some kind of telemarketer. That's creepy. I mean weaving their name naturally into conversation at key moments. Here's why it works. Hearing your own name activates a unique part of the brain. It's like a spotlight turns on. Your name isn't just a label, it's your identity. When someone says it with warmth and presence, it triggers a feeling of recognition and belonging. Think about it. If you're in a crowded room and someone across the space says your name, your head snaps instantly. It cuts through noise like nothing else. That's how powerful it is. But here's the twist. It's not just about remembering someone's name, it's about how you say it. If you rush it, mumble it, or overuse it, it loses impact. But if you slow down slightly, smile, and drop their name into a meaningful moment, it feels like music. Imagine this, you meet someone named Sarah. Instead of saying, "Nice to meet you, Sarah," like everyone else, you say, "Sarah, that's a beautiful name. Nice to meet you." Or later in the conversation, when she shares something personal, you nod and say, "I hear you. Sarah, that must have been tough." See the difference? It's not the name itself, it's the attention, the weight you give it. It tells the other person, you're not just another face. I see you. And people crave that more than anything. Now, hack number 7. This one is all about timing. It's called strategic silence. You see, most people are terrified of silence in conversation. The second there's a pause, they scramble to fill it with words, jokes, or random small talk. But here's the psychological secret. Silence, when used deliberately, creates power and connection. There's a study that shows people perceive those who are comfortable with silence as more confident, more charismatic, and even more trustworthy. Why? Because silence creates space, and in that space, emotions breathe. Picture this. Someone shares something vulnerable with you. Most people rush in with advice or a story about themselves, but instead you just pause. You nod, you hold eye contact, and you let the silence stretch a second longer.
What happens?
The other person feels like their words truly landed. They feel respected, valued, and often they'll go deeper, sharing more than they planned, because your silence gave them permission. Even in playful conversations, silence can be magnetic. Imagine teasing someone, then pausing with a sly smile, holding the silence. It creates tension, anticipation, and that makes you unforgettable. So here's the hack. Don't fear silence. Use it, let it be your secret weapon, because silence isn't empty. It's full of power. Now, hack number 8, and this one is my personal favorite. It's called the shared secret principle. Psychologists have found that when 2 people share a secret, whether it's something silly, funny, or vulnerable, it dramatically increases intimacy and likability. Why? Because secrets create a sense of us versus the world, a tiny private bubble invisible to everyone else. Think back to your closest friends. I bet you share inside jokes, little stories, or even embarrassing moments that no one else knows. That's what bonds you. That's what makes the connection feel special. So how do you use this hack when you first meet someone? You don't unload your darkest trauma, of course. You share a small, safe secret, something playful, quirky, or personal enough that it feels like you're letting them in. For example, you might lean in and say, Okay, don't laugh, but I still sleep with a nightlight sometimes. Or, here's something weird. I always order dessert first at restaurants.
What happens?
They smile, they laugh, and often they'll respond with their own secret. Boom, instant bond. But here's where it gets powerful. When you stack this with vulnerability from Hack 5, you create a double effect. You're not just being real, you're inviting them into a private circle, and that makes you unforgettable. Here's a story to show you just how powerful this can be. I once read about a psychology experiment where strangers were paired up and given 36 questions to ask each other. These questions gradually moved from small talk into deeper, more personal territory. By the end of the session, many participants reported feeling like they knew their partner better than people they'd known for years. Some even fell in love. Why? Because they were sharing secrets gradually, safely, intentionally. And that's the magic. When you let people in, even just a little, they'll want to let you in too. So here's your challenge for Hack 8. The next time you meet someone new, share a light secret. Nothing too heavy, just something quirky or funny that not everyone knows. Watch how fast it lowers their guard and builds a bridge between you. Hack number 9 is something you've felt before, but maybe never noticed. It's the power of emotional contagion. Here's the science. Emotions are contagious. Literally, psychologists discovered that when you feel an emotion strongly, the people around you unconsciously mirror it. Their facial muscles shift, their tone changes, and even their heart rate begins to sync with yours. So what does this mean for being likable? It means the emotional state you bring into an interaction is the one other people will walk away with. If you bring anxiety, they'll feel anxious. If you bring boredom, they'll feel bored. But if you bring genuine warmth, joy, or calmness, they'll associate you with those feelings. Think about the people you love being around. It's probably not because they have perfect looks or dazzling achievements. It's because of how you feel in their presence. They make you laugh. They make you feel relaxed. They make you feel good. That's emotional contagion in action. So how do you hack this? Before you enter any conversation, check your emotional state. Ask yourself, what do I want this person to feel after being with me? Then embody that emotion. Want them to feel energized? Light up, use your hands, let your voice carry enthusiasm. Want them to feel safe? Slow down, breathe deeply, soften your tone. People won't remember every word you said, but they will remember how you made them feel, and that memory will draw them back to you again and again. Hack 10 is about making people feel significant. Human beings have a deep, burning need to feel important, to feel like they matter. In fact, psychologist William James once said, "The deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated." When you make someone feel significant, truly seen, valued, and appreciated, you don't just win their liking, you win their loyalty. Here's how you do it. Go beyond surface-level recognition. Don't just thank someone for what they did. Appreciate who they are. For example, if a friend helps you move, don't just say thanks for the help. Say, you know what I love about you? You always show up for the people you care about. That means more than you know. If a coworker shares an idea, don't just say good idea. Say, I really admire the way you think outside the box. You make me see things differently. See the difference? One acknowledges an action. The other acknowledges a person's identity. And when you touch someone at the level of identity, you unlock a connection that lasts forever. Here's a quick story to drive it home. There was a study where teachers were told certain students were gifted based on a test. The truth? The test was fake. The students were chosen at random. But because teachers treated them like they were special, the students started performing at a higher level. Why? Because when someone believes you're significant, you rise to that belief. Now imagine the power of being that person for others. Imagine being the one who makes people feel seen, valued, important. They'll never forget you, because you gave them the rarest gift of all. Let's recap quickly. 1. Warm eye contact. 2. Subtle mirroring. 3. Deep listening with the golden pause. 4. Specific, authentic compliments. 5. Vulnerability and the Pratfall effect. 6. Using people's names with intention. 7. Strategic silence. 8. Shared secrets and inside jokes. 9. Emotional contagion. 10. Making people feel significant. Stack even a few of these and you'll notice people responding to you differently. Stack all of them. You'll become magnetic, the kind of person others gravitate toward without knowing why. But let me leave you with this. These aren't tricks to manipulate people. They're tools to connect more deeply, to bring out the best in others, to create moments of genuine human connection in a world that's starving for it. Because at the end of the day, it's not about making people like you so you can feel powerful. It's about making people like you because you remind them of what's good in themselves. So here's your actionable takeaway. Pick one, act just one, and use it in your next interaction. Maybe it's holding eye contact a little longer. Maybe it's giving a genuine, specific compliment. Maybe it's using silence instead of rushing in with words. Just one, then watch what happens. I promise you'll see a difference. And once you do, come back and try another. Before you know it, you won't just be liked, you'll be unforgettable. Because here's the truth. The world doesn't need more fake smiles or surface-level charm. It needs real connection, and now you have the keys to create it. So go out there, try these, light up a room, and watch how quickly people start lighting up when they're around you.